right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. Looks like we're ready to get started. I'm gonna try and make this as interactive as I possibly can. So, drop in the chat some things that you would like to learn today, what you think you're going to learn today, and I'll see if I touch it throughout the presentation. And again, I'm gonna try and make this as interactive, so get those chats ready. But thank you for coming to our webinar today through Apprenticely. Today, we're going to be talking about tech skills roadmap, navigating certifications and in-demand trends. First, start out by introducing our team. My name is Elise Long. I'm one of the talent recruiters and career coaches here. A little bit about me before I introduce or talk about my other lovely team members. I've been at Apprenticely for about a year now, just made my 1 year about 2 weeks ago. I actually have a background in IT, but I was on the software development side. I was a Mississippi State grad, graduated with mathematics, moved to Arkansas for work, in which I worked at a company for about 3 years in software development. And it was fun. Did a lot of both. I was more of a full stack developer, so I did front end and back end. And we'll talk a little bit about those skill sets. And then I'm such an extrovert. I don't know if you can already tell, but I just I want to be able to kind of help people and bring them into the world of IT, because throughout my time, I got to meet some very talented people that just need a little bit polishing up. And that's what I get to Apprenticely, prepare those for our Kansan IT jobs. So to introduce my lovely team members, we have Miss Ashley French. She's our Director of Talent Acquisition here at Apprenticely. Miss Jenny Sales is one of our senior recruiters and career coaches. Miss Amanda Champlin, she is our work-based learning manager, which we'll talk a little bit about. That's our internship program here at Apprenticely. And Miss Katie Rains, she is our Reskill Arkansas manager here at Apprenticely, and Nicole Parsons, who's also a senior recruiter and career coach. So about Apprenticely, we are a nonprofit here in the state of Arkansas, building and retaining top IT talent in the state of Arkansas. We all, the talent team, we all work remote, but we are everywhere throughout the state of Arkansas. I'm in central Arkansas, and we have some of our people in northwest Arkansas, and we help people throughout the state. So we have some central Arkansas candidates, some northeast, so Jonesboro, and some northwest people as well. And here we just kind of help people in the world of IT. So this webinar is about certifications, and certifications can be obtained in almost any avenue of the career world. But today we're going to talk about the IT sector and how one can use certifications to the best of their ability to advance in their skill set. So we work with people who are looking for cybersecurity people, data analysts, developers, and IT support as well. So that's a little bit about us. So, evolving tech industry. Technology is always advancing. How do we get ahead? Always want to remember that technology used to be just an idea, and then it has grown over time. Remember that the first modern computer, through my research, I discovered that there's a computer that dates back all the way to BC. But the first modern computer was built in 1946. And remember, computers used to be a giant room. But now our computers are right here in our laps, right here on our desk, and even in the palm of your hand on your phone. So wouldn't that mean that the educational requirements would also change as technology changes? So we've noticed that recruiters are looking for alternate ways to navigate kind of around the college degree. We're noticing that some people can the degrees, all the knowledge, but that hands-on work experience is kind of hard to really gauge in a person if all you really know is the knowledge base aspect of your tech field. So in order to kind of leverage that, we've seen some people kind of go through boot camps, webinars, hackathons, and our topic of the day, certifications. But before we get into certifications, which by the way, this is an interactive webinar today. So please drop in the chat some certifications that you've heard of. I would love to see what you're familiar with. And let's see if in this webinar today. So before we can get to the webinar or the certifications, let's talk about our skills and see how we can build on that. So for data analytics, so I use this as my, in IT, it's like the three branches of government: data analytics, software development, and IT support / cybersecurity. These are our three branches within our field. So in data analytics, we have our foundational skills. So if you're interested in data or you've already started a career in data, ask yourself, how well are your skills in SQL, Excel, and Python? Those three will definitely set the foundation for your career in data analytics. As you will then see, it will build on in the others that we have in our advanced skill set in cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and Tableau, Power BI. Those right now are definitely in demand, and we are going to talk about some of these advanced skills later on in this webinar. Let's transition a little bit to software development. Now, software development is a little different from the other two branches of IT, as in like, but both skills, there's skills in them that are both foundational and advanced, as they just kind of build on top of themselves, and they're different types of framework. So for software development, remember I said I was more of a full stack person. So that means I did a little bit of front end development and back end development. So if you're in the front end, that would be your CSS, your JavaScript, your HTML, your Bootstrap. You're the person who has like a creative mindset. You love popping colors and making sure that it's a logo that someone will definitely remember. So yeah, that's our front end people. And our back end developers, our Java, our C++, a C sharp, and honorable mention GitHub, but really GitHub is like our portfolio that we would put all of this on. So making sure that we are definitely familiar with those as far as the software development side. And our last branch of IT is our IT support and cybersecurity. The foundational skills here would be our hardware, our window repair skills, and our optimization. Now, what does all that mean when it comes to foundational skills in the IT support cybersecurity? Well, has anyone built a computer? Again, interactive webinar, drop it in the chat. If you've built a computer, you definitely know the ins and outs of what makes it all function. Are you familiar with the CPU, the motherboard, the RAM? All of that then builds on understanding when networking, like wires and testing, figuring out why is a computer slow or why is the internet not connecting. Understanding the ins and outs of the computer, the hardware can help prepare that foundation. Window repair skills. Are we familiar with the command prompt? That will then translate and kind of, communicate with the computer itself what all you're looking for. And optimization, just making sure that the computer is at its highest peak in efficiency. And then some of the advanced skills when it comes to IT support and cybersecurity are the wires, the networking, and the testing. And we're going to get into some of those advanced skills in just a little bit. So we talked about the skills. Let's go to our top in-demand tech skills. Again, this is an interactive webinar, so share with me what you think is in demand right now in the tech skills. But I will share what I've done my research on, and I did the top 4. So I discovered through my research that right now, cloud computing is super in demand as far as our one of our tech skills. Why? We are seeing that businesses move their operations to cloud-based systems for storage, flexibility, and cost efficiency. So what does that mean? Well, remember I said that back in the day, the first modern computer was built in 1946. So of course, over time, that's all built upon itself, including the way we do business. So now we're seeing that by storing all of our information in the cloud, it makes it accessible for everyone in the company to access it. Whereas before, everything is in file cabinets or someone's personal computer. we're seeing today that some of our retiree generation folks, everything is on their personal computer or in their head. So now we're seeing a generation retire and not really leaving behind their process documents on how they were able to fix a situation. So with cloud computing, it drives that emphasis on putting everything in a overall system that anyone in the company can access it. So some certifications that would prepare one for cloud computing skills would be our AWS, which I'll talk about. That's our Amazon Web Service Certified Solution Architect, our Microsoft Certified Azure Solutions Architect, and our Google Professional Architect. In data analytics, going over to the next top in-demand skill, why would data analytics be in demand right now? Well, data is like the oil to the company. It's through the data scientists that we're seeing that all trends and decision-making processes are being brought forth. Essentially, anything that you see today is because a data person did some research and they brought forth to the higher ups, and they then executed it. Some certifications that would help you in your data analytics skill set would be our own Coursera, Google Data Analytics, and Microsoft Certified Data Scientist. Our next in-demand, our two in-demand top tech trends would be cybersecurity. Why? With the rise of cyber threats and attacks, we need analysts now more so than ever to protect the system and point out vulnerabilities. I know we're all kind of familiar with the news of the day, but just a week ago, I think it was announced that AT&T had a security breach in their system. And essentially, they said like all customers were affected by it. And so, but that all avoided if they had the proper SOC analysts, the proper hackers, they're called ethical hackers, to prevent that. So in cybersecurity, you're really making sure that do you know how to test? Do you know how to spot the vulnerabilities? It's really just a whole bunch of running the same test over and over again from different avenues, different points to see if you can spot a vulnerability. And it might seem a little tedious, it might seem a little exciting. Cybersecurity is super important, especially with some of our Fortune 500 companies that have a lot of our access, a lot of our data. So you see that some of these skills kind of all work together. Some certifications that would prepare one for cybersecurity would be, again, Google Coursera, Google Cybersecurity, TIA Security Plus, and Certified Information System Security Professional Certificate, also known as the CISSP. And our final top in-demand tech skill is AI and machine learning. Why is this one? AI and machine learning are changing the way companies do business by automating processes and enabling data-driven decisions. So let's go back to data analytics, for example. Remember I said it was the oil of a company. Well, we're seeing that artificial intelligence is recording some of our customers' data and saying like, hey, we noticed that Miss Elise Long likes hoop earrings. I don't know if you guys can see, I'm wearing hoop earrings today. When insert a store's name has a sale on hoop earrings, Elise will go check it out. Well, what if there was a way to, instead of her receiving an email, maybe receiving a text message? We always make a joke about how whenever we have a thought about a product, we see it all over our social media accounts and ads, on billboards. But that's nothing more than AI right there for you, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Some certifications that would help you gain more skills in AI and machine learning would be, again, Google Coursera, Advanced Data Analytics, AWS Certified Machine Learning, and Microsoft Azure AI Engineer Associate. Now, again, interactive webinar. So our next slide is going to talk about some different certifications. So drop in the chat what you're familiar with in the world of certifications. So let's explore some of the various certification pathways. And this little diagram will definitely make sense as we talk about some of our certifications. So we have two types of certifications. We have a vendor neutral certification and our vendor specific certification. Our vendor neutrals would be our Google Coursera. Have you noticed I've mentioned that one a lot? I'll get to that later. Our LinkedIn Learning certifications, our Udemy, Free Code Camp, Code Academy, and Khan Academy. Let's talk a little bit about our vendor neutral certifications first. So some of these vendor neutral ones are completely free to the candidate. Here at Apprenticely, we have a partnership with Google Coursera, which is why I've been like super mentioning them a lot. And we have access to 9 different training paths within Google Coursera, which we can give to our candidates, again, who live in the state of Arkansas. They're completely free to you guys. The same way with some LinkedIn Learning, if you're affiliated with LinkedIn, and Free Code Camp as well. Now, some of them like Udemy, Khan Academy, and Code Academy will have a little bit of a cost to them. People are familiar with them, but it's going to cost you. Udemy, I know for those who are familiar with Udemy, I think we have seen sometimes where Udemy might have like a big dollar amount next to a certification course. But if you check 3 days later, the price has gone down significantly. Those instances like that is what I'm talking about. Vendor neutral certification pathways such as Code Academy and Khan Academy, they will allow free access to users to a certain extent. So I did a Python certification course through Code Academy, and I was only allowed access for about 2 courses, but then I had to have a subscription. So they're kind of a subscription-based platform, the same way Khan Academy is. But it is super helpful. And I did some additional research. They do have a lot of additional resources to help their candidates really familiarize themselves within their skill set. Let's talk about vendor-specific certifications. So I mentioned before in my top in-demand skills one, we have CompTIA, we have Cisco, Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure. Very reputable, very well known within the world of certifications. So these are the ones that are definitely going to cost you some money. And going back to the diagram I said, the vendor neutral certifications can prepare you to take vendor specific certifications. So the vendor specific certifications are usually tests. And like I said, they cost money and they're kind of a pass or a fail thing. So in them, for example, Google Coursera, and remember I said that Apprenticely has 9 different training paths. We have a Google Coursera IT support certification. If a candidate were to take this certification pathway, it would prepare them to take CompTIA A+, not for free, but it's almost like their study materials in a sense, because these vendor-specific training, vendor-specific certifications also have their own study materials, and I think they cost additional money. But if you were to go through Apprenticely's Google Coursera certification, alleviate that cost. Also, with these vendor-specific certifications, you would have to renew every 3 years to show that you are familiar with the certification still. And I think that also does cost money to renew every year. But on resumes, it does signify to hiring managers that, okay, they are very knowledgeable in this skill, and they don't necessarily have to guess exactly what you did at your previous position. When they go down to your skills, they see, oh, CompTIA A+, I know what I know where their knowledge is, I know where their skill set is. So with that, with some of our top in-demand skills and our certifications, vendor neutral and vendor specific, how can we talk about our own personalized tech skills roadmap? What are the steps to earn your own certification? Well, let's start by assessing your current skills and areas. For those who are in a tech career already, what are you really, really good at? We've noticed that those who already are super knowledgeable, and let's just say SQL, it's just go ahead and get a SQL certification and add it to the resume. And if you're trying to advance in your career, we've noticed that certifications on average, according to Google Coursera, can increase one's salary by about $13,000. So assess your current skills and see where you would like to start in improving your skill set. I would even go as far as let's go ahead and get certified in our current skills and then go back to our advanced skills and start learning on those. Emerging technologies driving demand for specific skills. So remember, we talked about those top in-demand skills right now. Out of those four, like you see like where companies are really looking to hire folks. So those who have that cybersecurity skill, AI and machine learning, data analytics, those are the ones that are truly in demand. And the faster that you can get acclimated in those skills, faster it could be for a promotion or a new job. Setting career goals and objectives and mapping out a personalized learning plan. Here at Apprenticely, we have discovered that if a candidate were to log in for about an hour a day, it would take them about 6 months to complete our course. So ask yourself, is 6 months okay with you? If so, then that's great. But if you're looking to really advance or further, get a new job or put yourself on the job market, what are some sacrifices you're willing to take to get to that goal, to get to that plan? So mapping out that plan and setting those career goals and objectives. Tips and tricks for success in certification program, effective study strategies. When I was taking my Python course, I noticed that if I logged on and tried Python every day, I never forgot or lost what I was already doing. So my skill set continued to build on itself. But when I went on like vacation, for example, and I was gone for a weekend and then came back to work and then having to catch up and then returning to my course, I realized I forgot some stuff. So effective study strategies always be building on top of each other. The best way, they say it takes 21 days to learn a new habit. I think we should always be students of learning, always be striving to always just, if it's just 15 minutes, just refining those skills. Utilizing online resources and communities. So remember in the beginning, I said that some people are using things like boot camps and hackathons to further emphasize their skills, especially in cybersecurity. It's really helpful to look for the community and in a hackathon. You'll be surprised at what you know and what you don't know. And you can learn from your peers. Some peers, all they do is cybersecurity, and that's great. Other peers definitely are like, oh yeah, based on the trends of a day, like this is what I'm doing. So hackathons can definitely test your own abilities. And online resources, get involved in your community of your specific skill set to find out how you can, again, maybe be encouraged or better your own skill set. Skill refinement through GitHub or a project. For certain areas of the skills, a project is very handy. So I think through Google Coursera, our data analytics course, there's a capstone project. It definitely will challenge one to use the skills that they've already gathered right now and put it to use. Again, remember I said in the beginning that hiring managers are seeing that people can have all the knowledge, but having a hard time actually doing the job. So skill refinement through a project, whether it's a personal project or a work project, adding that on your resume and challenging yourself really helps along the way. And exam preparation and success. Remember I said that vendor-specific certifications are basically a test. They're an exam. So yes, it is or a fail thing. Using study materials like Apprenticely's Google Coursera would definitely help you. And if you need additional help by purchasing CompTIA's study materials, then by all means. But exam preparation, study will go a long way in achieving a certification. So some resource recap. Again, Apprenticely has a partnership with Google Coursera where we offer our own professional certificates. And I listed some right here. We have data analytics, the UI UX design one, IT automation with Python. And I said we had about 9, so this is 3. I left out 6. So email us for more of that. And remember, I said Code Academy, Free Code Camp, udemy.com, TIA.org for some of the certifications. Again, some of these are neutral and some of these are vendor specific. And how can Apprenticely help in this journey? Well, I mentioned our Reskill Arkansas, which is our training platform of sorts, where we do have a partnership with Google Coursera. If you're ready to gain a new skill, our training platform is a great way to start. So please reach out and we can help get you started. And candidate coaching. Let's talk about your skills and come up with a game plan on how to enhance them. We are here to help. We do candidate coaching, candidate mentoring, and we want to see you guys succeed. And again, help the state of Arkansas to your best of your ability. All right, and that concludes our webinar. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
You said your background was in full stack development. I just got through with ARCA's Java full stack development. What kind of certifications did you pursue that you found particularly helpful in the full stack arena?
Okay, so I did an Angular course on Udemy, and that really helped me, and that allowed me to really get used to the Angular framework because that's what my company was using. And in that, it challenged me to use both my front end and my back end knowledge. So I did get a certification in that. And then I used Code Academy. I actually paid for the subscription, and I did the HTML and CSS. I really like the front end developer side of it, and so that's what I did. I did Udemy and I did Code Academy, and that helped me.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. Any other questions? If we're shy to speak up, we can always drop something in the chat, and I'll be free to. How important are projects using these skill certifications to show knowledge? Great question. Projects are super important. So like I said, hiring managers are seeing that, again, people can have all the degrees, all the certifications, but can they actually do the work? So a project would definitely showcase that one is capable of doing the work. So I think especially for certain areas, not every skill set can show that you have done a project, but there's a way to definitely combat that. So for IT support people, I mentioned, have you ever built a computer? Saying that you do like hardware repairs, so whether it's a PlayStation or a television, you can put that as a project. For our data analytics people, again, there are different websites that you can, and I can't remember some of them, and maybe some of our talent team might know, but there are websites where you can essentially get data and kind of work and fix on it on yourself. So utilizing maybe their Excel or their SQL, their Excel, Python, stuff like that. And then in cybersecurity, I mentioned hackathons. That would be a great way to try your own skill set and maybe refine as well. So those are some examples of projects, but they definitely do help. And I highly encourage adding them on your resume. Kaggle, yep. Any other questions? All right. Well, if no other questions, again, thank you guys so much for being interactive and taking the time out of your day to hear about our certification roadmap and top in-demand trends. You can reach out to us on all the socials via Apprenticely. So yes, we're on Facebook, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all under the name of Apprenticely. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. This is very helpful.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.